Hey guys, what's going on? This is the Anything Goes podcast where we talk about anything that we really want to talk about. I'm your host, Tim Gordon, and most of you guys probably know me as TDG Calamity. But today I am myself doing my own thing here. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. So this is the Anything Goes podcast where we literally talk about anything and everything. It's mostly going to be, entertainment stuff. So video games, sports, music, movies, TV, anything really. I would like to have another guest on or another host, if you will. But for today, just me. I know. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. So today we're going to be talking about some football. We're going to go over the Thursday night football game, some Sunday matchups, some sports debates lately that have been going around that I've seen on like ESPN and a lot of those shows. And then we're going to talk about maybe some baseball. There was some baseball news lately for anyone that likes baseball out there. I love baseball, so I was glad to hear it. And then we're going to talk about some video game stuff, all the new releases coming out next week, release dates, pricing, stuff like that. And then we have a little bit of movie news. We have some news for Spider-Man 3, which I think, if the news is true, a lot of people will like. So, yeah, we're just going to go right into it with the Thursday night football matchup, which was between the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. The Green Bay Packers ended up winning 34-17. Aaron Rodgers was 25 for 31, 305 yards, and threw for 4 touchdowns. So he had himself quite the day. He also had Davante Adams with 10 receptions, 173 yards, and a touchdown, so he went off. Aaron Jones, he wasn't too good this game. I mean, he was okay, especially if you had him for fantasy and it's a PPR league, he did pretty well. I mean, he got 15 carries for 58 yards, 5 receptions for 21 yards. No touchdowns for Aaron Jones, but it was a game for him where he came back from injury, so I mean, maybe they didn't want to use him too much. And then Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I believe I said his name right. 2 receptions, 53 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So he was really, he didn't have the yardage or the receptions of Davante Adams, but he had the 2 touchdowns, really helped him out. In terms of the 49ers, Nick Mullins was their quarterback because Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, and the 49ers also got destroyed with COVID-19. They had one of their wide receivers test positive for it, I believe, on Wednesday, and then because of that, all the other major wide receivers were also put on the COVID-19 list because they came in close contact with him. So they had backup wide receivers everywhere. They had no George Kittle at tight end, which definitely hurt them, and no Jimmy Garoppolo because he was hurt again. So Nick Mullins was at quarterback, 22 for 35, 291 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. So, I mean, really not a horrible game for Nick Mullins. I mean, the interception probably hurt. Could have thrown for more touchdowns, but all in all, he did okay. Jerick McKinnon led the 49ers backfield with 12 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. So pretty much the same type of day as Aaron Jones, just had the touchdown that really paid off for him, especially if you had him for fantasy. And the 49ers leading receiver, you don't know him, or I don't know him, but he had himself a day, even a better day than Davante Adams, which is hard to say sometimes for wide receivers, but his name is Richie James. 9 receptions, 184 yards, and a touchdown. That is crazy. So he had obviously a really good game, stepped up for filling in for the receivers that are out for COVID-19. Honestly, this was a, despite the score, 34-17 sounds, honestly, it sounds closer than it was. I mean, it was still a good game to watch, but Aaron Rodgers was just throwing the ball all over the field. So it seemed like every time they went down the field, they scored. I mean, it is what it is. But I think actually Aaron Rodgers, I think he's trying to sneak into that MVP race. I know For me, right now, midseason MVP for me would be Russell Wilson, just because he's literally carrying that team. I know he has Chris Carson, a running back, who's really good, but he's been injured quite a bit this year. And he's got Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf on as receivers, but he's still having a crazy year. So to me, he's the MVP leader right now. But Aaron Rodgers is getting up there. I mean, he's got a 67.5% completion percentage, which is 11th in the league, so pretty good. And then he's got 2,253 yards, which is 4th in the NFL. And he's got 24 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, which are both second. The 24 touchdowns are 2 behind Russell Wilson, who's my MVP, and the 2 interceptions is 1 more than Patrick Mahomes has thrown. So, I mean, he should be right there. I think Russell Wilson has thrown for 4 interceptions, so, I mean, take what you will from that. And his quarterback rating is 117.5. He is second in the NFL. Behind, can anyone guess? It's not Mahomes. It's Russell Wilson. So that, to me, is why Russell Wilson's my MVP. But Aaron Rodgers is certainly, if he can continue this, he is on pace for a really good year. So we'll see how that goes. He has to stay healthy. Devontae Adams has to stay healthy. And honestly, I think Aaron Jones has to stay healthy as well, because clearly having Aaron Jones back helped that offense move the ball quite a bit. So that's Thursday Night Football and Aaron Rodgers. Now we're actually going to go into one of my favorite debates right now that's going around on ESPN and like Fox Sports and CBS and all that stuff. Has this year so far proved that the New England Patriots' success is on Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? I don't know what you guys think. For me, it's still too soon to tell, but Tom Brady is making a case that it was him, that he's the reason why they were so successful. Because Belichick, to me, this year is struggling, and I get it. I know this year is weird. He doesn't have Dante Hightower on defense, doesn't have Patrick Chung on defense. His wide receivers are still not anywhere near where they should be in terms of talent level. I mean, his best receiver right now is Julian Edelman, who just went down, I believe, for the season with a precautionary knee surgery, which makes no sense. That means he was injured and had to have it. And Julian Edelman even only has 315 yards this year receiving, and that leads the Patriots, though. That should tell you everything. But Brady, if you look at him, he's 6-2 with the Bucs, which I know it's not all him. He is 66.2 completion percentage, which is right underneath Aaron Rodgers, honestly. And so he's around like 13th in the league for completion percentage, which I know that's not like the big thing, but that is literally right at Tom Brady's career average. So clearly he hasn't really dipped that much in completion percentage. He's right now at 21.89 for yards. He's got 20 touchdowns and 4 picks, so he's got the same amount of interceptions as Russell Wilson, and I believe most of those picks came in the first, 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks. I know there was one game where he had 2 picks. I'm pretty sure that was the week 1 against the Saints. So, really, he hasn't thrown many interceptions lately at all. But he's got 20 touchdowns, 4 picks. His quarterback rating is 103.1. I think that's a little low for Brady, so I mean he could pick up that play a little bit. I don't know why it would be that low. To be complete, I mean it's 103.1 isn't low. I don't want to say that, but for Brady, I feel like that's lower than what he usually does. But I don't really know what goes into quarterback rating. I think it's touchdowns to interception ratios. I think it's completion percentage. I think it's everything into one big math formula, and I don't do that. So. But if he keeps up this pace, he'll be on pace for 4,378 yards, which would be his 7th highest in his career. So clearly, again, if he hits that mark, he has not dropped off talent level at all. And then he'll have 40 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, which 40 touchdowns would be the 2nd most in his career, and the 8 interceptions would be the 3rd best in his career. So and he had a lot of 8 interception years. So like he hasn't dropped off at all. And he's what, 42, 43 right now. Like, it's crazy. And yes, I know I'm wearing my Tampa Bay Tom Brady Buccaneers jersey. And I got the Patriots hat on, so I'm kind of going against both ways here. But that's why I did that. I wanted to talk about this and see what everyone thought. I hope you guys, comment with what you guys think on this debate. Also on Twitter, because I'll be posting this there. To get you guys in on the debate would be cool. Now, if you look at Bill Belichick, he's 2-5 this year with the Pats. Honestly, the losses I don't blame on him, mainly because they were in it for most of their losses. So they lost a close one to Seattle. They lost a close one to Buffalo, extremely close one to Buffalo, I should say. And there was one other game that was close. They could be literally, if everything went right, they could be 5-2 right now instead of 2-5. So, and I don't blame that on Belichick. I mean, in the Buffalo game, you had Cam Newton scramble, which was really good. He got on in the goal line area and he fumbled it, and Buffalo got the ball, and that sealed the game because Patriots didn't have any timeouts left, and then it was like a minute left or 30 seconds left or something crazy like that. So if you think about it, if Cam doesn't fumble that ball, it just goes down. They either get the field goal and tie, go to overtime, or they score a touchdown because they still had 30 seconds to a minute left, so they can run a couple plays. So those I don't blame on Belichick. He's putting them in positions to win. It's just their players aren't executing correctly. So there's that. But if there's anything Belichick can control, it would be the weapons on offense because he's the GM, and which they got a wide receiver from Miami, who's Isaiah Ford, who's pretty good, but he's another slot receiver. We need that receiver that can go up and get the ball, which I think they want N'Keal Harry to be that guy, but he just hasn't proved it yet. So, and I like N'Keal Harry. A lot of people, I think, from this area don't really like him that much or don't think that he's that good. I think he's pretty good. I think he has a chance to be a really good wide receiver, but he just hasn't proven it yet. He's still young, so it's going to happen. But anyway, back to Belichick. So the points that they've scored, so the points for the Patriots are 136. Can anyone guess where that is in the NFL right now? No. 29 of 32. So they're in the bottom 3 for scoring. And then points against is 167 points against. That is 12th out of 32. So their defense is a little better than middle of the pack, which is, considering their defense and how many losses they have on defense from opting out or injuries or whatever, is actually a lot better than I thought. Still, they need to kind of pick that up a little bit, but the quarterback play definitely needs to step up. I don't know if I don't even think it's on Josh McDaniels, to be completely honest, who's their offensive coordinator, if you don't know a whole lot about New England's team, which I do because I'm from New England, and they're my favorite team. But their quarterbacks have 3 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. That cannot happen, at all. That is terrible. So, and that's with Cam Newton has 2 of those touchdowns and 7 of those interceptions, and I believe the other touchdown and 3 interceptions goes to Jarrett Stidham, and then the 1 interception went to Brian Hoyer. So that's not good. I mean, granted, those are passing touchdowns, but still, you cannot have that and expect to be better than what the Patriots are. I mean, completely honestly. I mean, they are lucky to be 2-5 with that turnover ratio for quarterbacks. But I will say this, Cam Newton looked a lot better throwing the ball against Buffalo. So I'm hoping to kind of bank on that, and maybe Belichick will step up, because if Belichick somehow manages to get over 500 or even in the playoffs, this will be the greatest. If he gets in the playoffs, it'll be the greatest comeback or turnaround in NFL history, I would say. To go 2-5 and then still make the play, make the playoffs in, like, it's not like this is the NFC East where you have like 3 teams with 2 wins. Like, that's not how the AFC East is. The AFC East is actually pretty good this year. They have Buffalo at the top at 6-2. Miami's in the middle, I believe, at 4-3, and then you have the Patriots in third, and then you have the winless Jets at the bottom. Which the Jets, I can understand bringing down that division a little bit. So they still have a chance. They just need to take care of business when they play Buffalo again. And they play the Jets twice, so that's always a good thing. They play the Bills once, and I think they play Miami once. So if they can take care of those 4 games right there, that brings them to 6-5. Now, their other games are going to be a whole nother story. But I think if Bill does that, turns it around, he doesn't have to make the playoffs, but if he does make the playoffs, I think that pushes him to right about where Tom Brady is and right now in terms of who is more, I don't want to say to blame because it's not like a blame thing, but like who is more responsible, there we go, for the Patriots' success of the last 20 years, Brady or Belichick. I think this is going to be an ongoing debate that people are going to have all year long and possibly into next year, depending on if Brady decides not to retire, which I don't think he will. He's not. He said he'll stop playing when he sucks. He's clearly not sucking with the stuff that's going on right now. So I think right now Tom Brady has a leg up on Belichick, but if Belichick turns this season around and gets at least a winning record out of this year, I think it's about even. And for me, it's still too early to tell. We won't be able to tell until at least Tom Brady retires. I don't know when Belichick plans on retiring, but I'm assuming that's after Brady does, because Brady's already like right there in terms of age. So there's that. Again, leave comments on YouTube, on Twitter, everywhere I post this. Like, don't be afraid to post comments and tell me what you guys think. I think it's a really good debate. But again, I think it's too early to tell. But in other news, we have Antonio Brown joining Tom Brady's team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after an 8-game suspension for off-field issues that he had last year. He did join Brady with the Patriots. Oh man, was that last year or 2 years ago? I think it was last year. He only played 1 game because then the Patriots released him because he couldn't stop the off the field stuff. I don't know what was going on with him. He said he's a changed person. He's a better person, and he's moved on from it. Which good for him. Good for him if he has. I mean, it is what it is. But he looks forward to playing with Brady again. And his first game back will be this week against New Orleans, so that'll be a pretty important game. For what is that? Is that Sunday Night Football? Yeah, that's Sunday Night Football. So that'll be a really good game matchup, or a rematch of Week 1 when the New Orleans Saints beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Brady's first game in Tampa Bay. So yeah, we'll get into that later actually for the matchup wise, but for now we are going to go into the Seattle Seahawks versus the Buffalo Bills. So we're only going to do a few games here. Games that, honestly, to me, they matter more than the other games. So Seattle versus Buffalo is a really important game for both teams because Seattle is only up a game in their division. And I believe they're above the Cardinals and the Rams. Cardinals and the Rams, they are above by only like a game or a game and a half. So they are 6-1. So this is an important game for them to keep that lead in that division because it's going to get tight. Arizona's a really a good team, I feel. And the Rams are hit or miss to me, honestly. So they may not have to worry about them. But anyway, it's also important for the Bills because the Bills want to keep that lead in the AFC East because it's going to get tight. I mean, Miami's playing really good, even with Tua at quarterback. They're playing really good, so they need to stay ahead of them. And like I said, the Patriots can catch them. The Patriots still have 2 games against the Jets. I think the Bills have played them once. So they don't have that like favorable schedule, and especially against Seattle, that's going to be tough for them. The Bills are 6-2. They only have a 1-game lead, or sorry, it's 1.5-game lead over the Dolphins. So we'll see with that. And Russell Wilson, like I said, he's my midseason MVP. He's a lot of people's midseason MVP, to be completely honest, and he's leading the race for MVP right now in a lot of people's eyes. And his receivers, his receivers are, you have to pick your poison. So would you rather have Lockett go off or Metcalf go off? Me personally, I would focus more on Metcalf if I was Buffalo, but I know Buffalo has a lot of injuries in their secondary right now with Josh Norman out and a few other quarterbacks out. So that might be a little tough for them, but I know Buffalo has a really good defense. So maybe if they get pressure on Russell Wilson, force him out of the pocket maybe. But if I was them, I'd make sure to keep my eyes on Metcalf and know where he is at all times because he's the one that can really do damage. Lockett can do damage too. Don't get me wrong, but you don't need to double him. I don't think unless you're going to do a safety over the top because Lockett's got that speed. He's not going to be the DK Metcalf and go up and get the ball. Like he's not. That's not who he is. Lockett's that speed guy that'll get you like down the field 40 yards. So I think keep a safety over the top on him and always make sure that Metcalf is double teamed, whether it be a linebacker off the line and then have a cornerback pick him up or, stuff like that. I think they need to keep their eyes on that. I think Seattle wins this game, but I do think it's a really close game because of Buffalo's defense. And Seattle actually will be without their starting running back, Chris Carson, which kind of stinks for them, but they did all right last game without him. So I think Seattle will win that. Next game we got is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Indianapolis Colts. Both teams are 5-2. Lamar Jackson has really struggled this year compared to last year, was MVP year. I think teams are just starting to get used to him, and the Ravens have no running attack right now other than Lamar Jackson. He's literally their leading rusher with like 400 and something yards. So that's a problem. So Baltimore is going to have to fix that somehow. And they are coming off a bye week, so maybe they fixed it this week. We'll see, but Indianapolis has a really good defense. So I think it might be tough to start out this week, but we'll see. Teams aren't afraid of Lamar anymore. They are literally making it so that he has to throw the ball, and that's probably the best decision that they can make is having him throw the ball because he's not terrible, but he's made a lot of throwing decisions this year that have not been good for his team. So he has a lot of interceptions this year. So I think he needs to kind of cool it on the interceptions. Hopefully he can get that right. Maybe get their run game going, and they should be able to win. Right now the Ravens are second in the AFC North behind Pittsburgh, who's undefeated. So they need to really come out of here with a win and hope to God Pittsburgh loses this week. I think the key for Indianapolis is obviously their defense. Keep doing what other defenses have been doing against Lamar. I know the Ravens are still 5-2, so they're still pretty good. But make Lamar throw the ball. That's what they need to do. But unfortunately, I know they're injured a lot on offense. They got T.Y. Hilton's out. Jonathan Taylor is questionable, and it's going to be a tough game for them if those two guys don't play. Now, Jonathan Taylor to me is the big key on offense. I think if they have him, they are much better off, the Indianapolis Colts. He's a really good running back. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He does a lot, and he's a young running back, so he's gonna benefit from it, especially playing in a good game like this against Baltimore. That'll help him out. The Colts are tied with Tennessee for first in the AFC South, so this is a big game for them too if they want to get that lead over Tennessee. Or at least start out on the right foot and getting the win over Tennessee. They can't control the Tennessee game, obviously, but getting this win would be huge for them. To me, I see the Ravens winning this game. I do think it's another close game, maybe by like a field goal, maybe a touchdown, somewhere in that range. But I do see the Ravens winning this, unfortunately for the Colts. Now we go to the Monday Night Football game, which is not the Monday Night Football game. We go to the Sunday Night Football game, which is the Saints versus the Buccaneers, which should be a really good game. But I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get their revenge, mainly because, let's see, we have Michael Thomas is questionable, so he's the big factor in this. But I will say the first time that these teams faced off was Week 1. Brady didn't have that chemistry with his wide receivers that he does now. Plus, Tampa Bay is also adding Antonio Brown. Saints defense is okay. It's been better than what it has been 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, they had a horrible defense. Maybe not 10 years ago, but in that range, they had a bad defense for a while. Now their defense is better, but still could be a lot better. And I think Tampa Bay just has too many weapons. Their chemistry is going pretty good right now. I know they just barely beat the Giants last week, but I think they come out hot this week and beat New Orleans. And it is a game against two of the NFL's leading passing touchdown throwers. So we'll see. But I think Tampa Bay wins this. They got the better defense. They have, I don't want to say the better quarterback, but in terms of this year, he's been the better quarterback. So I think Tampa Bay comes out with the win. So now we go on to Monday Night Football, which is the Patriots versus the Jets. I know it sounds like a horrible game, but I think it's actually going to be closer than people think. And I think the Patriots do win. They have to win. Honestly, they can't go 2-6. But Cam Newton has struggled this year. If he doesn't turn the ball over, I think they win easily. But I think he's gonna throw a pick this game. I hope he doesn't. I think he will, but I hope he doesn't. I just think with no Julian Edelman, I think they might get N'Keal Harry back this week, which will help. Plus, their running back Damian Harris has really proved that he can step up. He played well last week despite the loss. The Patriots defense also needs to step up and start stopping the run. I know the Jets don't really have much of a run game other than Frank Gore. So this should be a get-right game for the Patriots. And as we know, the Jets are last in the AFC East, and the Patriots are third. So Patriots need to really come out with a win. If they get a win, they'll be 3-5. Hopefully Buffalo and Miami both lose this week to get them one game closer to getting up to the top of the AFC East. Whew. All right. So with all that being said, we're going to switch into video games now. So as probably most of you guys know, next week, a lot of releases coming out. We got Xbox Series X and S coming out next week. I think that's Tuesday. I have the date written down, which I'll go over in a second. We got the PlayStation 5 coming out, I believe, next Wednesday or next Thursday. We got Assassin's Creed Valhalla coming out, which I think is going to be an amazing game next week. Comes out the same day as the Xbox. And then we got Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which is coming out on the 13th. So we got some stuff coming out next week, and I am excited for all of it. So Xbox Series X and S are both coming out on 11/10/2020, which I believe, let me look. So it's actually, it's 3 days from now. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, so Tuesday it's coming out. It's going to be priced at $500, $499.99, whatever, plus tax. And then you got PlayStation 5, which is coming out 2 days later on Thursday at the same price range. So that's good. Me personally, I don't play a whole lot on my Xbox anymore. I have Xbox One Day 1 edition, so that just kind of goes to show that I haven't upgraded my Xbox in however long it's been. It's been a while. That's also been a struggle because mine isn't 1 terabyte, so going through game updates kind of takes forever. But like I said, I don't play it that much. I only play NBA 2K on it. I play NBA 2K, and sometimes I have like some old Assassin's Creed games that I play on it. So can't say I just play NBA 2K, but that's really the only thing I play on it. I'm looking to upgrade to the Xbox One S. I'm not looking to go to Series S or Series X. So, but if I played on it more, I would be getting the new Xbox, which sounds like it's gonna be a beast. So, all you guys getting the new Xbox out there, I'm kind of jealous of you guys. But, well, probably wasn't a whole lot of you because a lot of people that pre-ordered, or a lot of people pre-ordered, and then most people couldn't get it. Like I wasn't able to pre-order because I wasn't able to get in, the first hour that it came out or whatever. So I will be probably camping out at my local GameStop, to be fair. But not for the Xbox, for the PlayStation. Now, PlayStation 5, I will be getting the PlayStation 5, and I look forward to playing that. I got COD Black Ops Cold War on there, pre-ordered, so that'll be cool. Can't wait to play on that. I will have to get a new monitor, though, pretty soon, because mine isn't really compatible with that. But yeah, those two things come out next week. Hopefully you guys were able to get some pre-orders. If you were like most people didn't get able to pre-order them, check your local GameStop. I think they've been saying that they're going to open 2 hours earlier for people with pre-orders and then open at normal time. So they're not doing like midnight releases, or at least I don't think. I don't think mine is. So I'll have to get there right as they open and hope to God that they have some in stock. So then we go into Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Standard edition is $59.99. Then you get the next version up, it's $109.99, and then I think it's like the Ultimate Steelbook is $129.99. And it comes out the same day as the Xbox, 11/10, so next Tuesday. That looks like it's going to be an amazing game, and I can't wait to play that. I pre-ordered it. I forget which one I pre-ordered it for, PlayStation or Xbox. I think I want to say Xbox, but I could be wrong. And then we got Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War coming out. That comes out next Friday, unless they do some. No, it's gotta be next Friday, 11/13/2020. Standard edition is $59.99. That's for like the old, like at my Xbox One. If I wanted to pre-order it, it'd be $59.99. The cross-platform edition is $69.99, and then you have the Ultimate Edition, which is $89.99. Which gives you different things in game and stuff like that. So, which I played the alpha and the beta. I like the alpha a lot more than the beta. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but I think the alpha to me played. I don't want to say smoother, but to me that's what it felt like. And I know when the beta came out, a lot of people already knew weird places to hide and stuff on maps and stuff like that. So I didn't really play it like, I don't want to say that seriously, where people were like literally looking through like a piece of plane or something and like, oh, I found this spot. Like I can't do that. Or at least with the beta, anyways. I can do that with the regular game because I can take as long as I want with that to figure out all these weird hiding spots and stuff. But I can't wait for both those games, honestly. And the new PlayStation is going to be sick. I can't wait for that either. But that really is it for video games. Let me guys know what you guys thought of the alpha and beta if you guys played them for the new Call of Duty, because I'd definitely be interested in seeing what you guys thought of it. Now, in terms of movies, so we have some movies to talk about here. Let's see. So it's actually Spider-Man 3 was the one I wanted to talk about because there's been a lot of news about that. And there's kind of news about another movie, kind of. It's in here. Anyway, so we all know the star of the Spider-Man movies is Tom Holland, Peter Parker. He just got done filming for the Uncharted movie, which also looks like it's going to be really good. I haven't seen any trailers or anything, but in terms of the video game and everything, it looks like it's going to be a good movie to go see, especially with Tom Holland as the main character in that. But he just got done filming that, and he had said that he was going right from that to, I think they filmed in the Bronx or in Queens in New York. So they're filming all of his scenes there, pretty much. So for Spider-Man 3, so I think he flew from wherever he was for Uncharted to there, immediately started filming that. And then we actually had Benedict Cumberbatch, who is Doctor Strange in the MCU. He is supposedly going to be in Spider-Man 3, and he's supposedly filming for Spider-Man 3 in Atlanta. So, which I think by now, I think they're probably almost done filming for his parts. I'm not quite sure. But there's also been a whole lot of rumors out there about other people appearing in this movie. So one of the main ones is having the other two Spider-Mans, so Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and possibly a Miles Morales. I don't know who, if that's how you say his name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, but possibly him having all of them in this movie, because it is supposed to be a multiple universe type thing, multiverse thing, where they bring in those other guys. Tobey Maguire obviously is much older now, which he was also a much older Peter Parker anyways, even though he played a high school where he was not in high school. I don't think Tom Holland is either, obviously, but he at least looks it. And then you got Andrew Garfield, who I hate to say this, I didn't watch those Spider-Mans. I watched the Tobey Maguire ones and the Tom Holland ones, but I didn't watch the Garfield ones. I probably should, but also they're supposedly rumored to have Daredevil in it too, which Daredevil hasn't been cast yet, but MCU fans are thinking that it's going to be the Daredevil TV series on Netflix. Charlie Cox, who played him, I think played the best Daredevil that there's been, which there's only been him and Ben Affleck who played it in the movie, but that was a long time ago. But if all those people are rumored in it, that's going to be a crazy movie. And they just announced too that, or not just announced, but they announced it not too long ago that Jamie Foxx is supposedly appearing in this movie too as the villain, or as one of the villains. There's supposed to be supposedly multiple villains in this too, so it's gonna be a crazy movie. But I can't wait for it. So that's pretty much the news I had on that. And again, this will be hopefully a weekly podcast where I can go over some new news and stuff with you guys. And again, hopefully I have another host with me, whether it's through Skype or here maybe. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. But yeah, I mean, this was fun. I like talking stuff like this. I wish I had someone else here, because I love debating stuff with people, especially sports stuff. It's kind of my thing. I would think so. Again, let me guys know, or let me guys know. Let me know what you guys think of the some of the debates that I had. Even the news for Spider-Man. If you guys enjoy the MCU, if you guys enjoy Spider-Man. Which I do. I don't see why anyone wouldn't. I think they're good movies, but like they're not the best in the MCU, obviously. But they're definitely good movies, and this third one seems crazy, especially since I think Doctor Strange 2 is supposed to come out before this. I could be wrong. I'd have to check, but I know his movie is the madness of the multiverse or something along those lines, where it deals with the multiverse, and I think it comes out before this. So like, the Doctor Strange and the multiverse is just gonna be crazy. So, and if they bring back those two other Spider-Mans, I think it's gonna be great. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today. Oh, actually, I did say I had some baseball news. So baseball news, many of you guys probably won't care about it because I'm a Red Sox fan. So it's exciting news for me, but they actually just hired their manager for the Red Sox, and it's going to be Alex Cora, who was their manager when they won the World Series 2 years ago. He was on suspension for his role in the Astros cheating scandal for a year, so he couldn't manage this year. They had him resign the beginning of this year, so he was out, and they actually brought him back in. So I'm excited for that, for bringing him back in, because I mean, he was a bench coach with Houston. I mean, what's he gonna do there? So So I don't blame him for any of that, and he didn't cheat with us. So regardless, I mean, there was reports out there that we did, but those got shot down, and nothing ever happened from the MLB to the Red Sox. So I believe that they were innocent in those. Um, so I think it's going to be a really good year for the Red Sox next year, or at least I hope it is, because they definitely need it after getting rid of Mookie Betts and having him win a World Series with the Dodgers. Yeah. So that was all I had for baseball news. So now that will do it for today. Again, hopefully I have another episode next week. I've tried to do some episodes before, but I just wasn't able to do them. I put them on my stream. I didn't really like how they came out. So this episode right here is the official episode 1 to my Anything Goes podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like down below. Again, comment with your opinions on the debates. I'd love to hear them. Same with on Twitter when I promote this video. Comment with what you guys think on the debates or what you guys think of the video. I'll see you guys later, hopefully on a stream or another video. See ya.